Hey everyone, it's Duffy, and welcome to the 10th season of Bike Week Nation.
Excellent.
Hey everybody, thanks for spending some time with me in Bike Week Nation. Hope you made it through this Arctic blast. It was incredibly cold this weekend. So hope everyone made it through without any broken pipes or other mishaps because of the cold. Want to get right to this week's builder section. Again, this is just a bunch of guys hanging out building motorcycles. There's not a lot going on in terms of motorcycle shows or things like that this time of year. So I figured I'd just give you guys a look inside to the build I'm working on this winter. I'm working with Dan Disrobor and also Ben and Corey Delfond. I really gotta thank them. Ben and Corey have been great. They're there every Tuesday night. We get together and we work on my old Harley Davidson 175 that I'm turning into sort of a rat bike bobber. So that's part of the segment, the shop time segment this week. The other part of the shop time segment is going to be John Turner, the owner of the High Octane Saloon, and we're going to take a look in at his build. He's working with the guys over at Vintage Custom and his son to put together a bobber of his own. So why don't we get right to this week's shop time segment?
I know in the bottom, on the bottom. That's where we're going to cut. Yeah. Now it's taking the game. He's always in line.
I think it might be a smart idea to stack something in place just because to get it in the right position.
If you think it's better to be, if you could have seen that was worse than this. So if anything could be just lid got open.
I bought a motorcycle off a friend of mine, had it 1980 wide glide, had it for the last 50 years, for Christ's sakes, 40 years. He sold it to me, and I got it home, and I'm looking at it. It was always a rat bike, so it's been a rat bike for 40 years anyways. And I'm looking at this thing. I said, Jesus, there ain't a real lot saving on this thing. So me and my buddy decided we're going to make a bobber out of it. So I'm going to have pictures before and pictures after, but it's going to be a sweet bobber, a nice shovel head bobber.
Well, can we follow you while you're making it? Maybe
Yep.
on Bike Week Nation, we'll set up some cameras and we can do some time lapses of
Absolutely.
you working on it.
Absolutely.
Whenever you guys are ready, just don't worry about me. Just do whatever you do.
All right.
All right.
So we're going to try to start this rig now. We know we got a bad rear cylinder here, a bad lifter, but I think it will run. Joe might need some lead in his ass.
Yeah.
Poof. That was it.
That was it. I like my stroker kicker.
So after this thing runs, we're gonna take it all apart. It's going down to the frame, going down to get everything off it, powder coated. We've been running around, we've been getting a lot of ideas. Gone down to Dan Disrobor's shop. He's got a shit ton of ideas for a bobber. But it was all good shit. So every day is something different we're gonna do. But we better line it up and do it. Yeah, so we got a bad lifter in here. Behold! I'm good. She runs, gonna run better. But I don't think we have compression issues.
Nope.
We know we got a bad lifter.
Right, yeah.
We'll change out all that shit. We're gonna strip this sucker down. Let's get the front end off it, get the struts off, get the motor exhaust disconnected here. We'll start just ripping this apart. There's not a lot I want to save, but this stuff is gold. Bob Duffy, I gotta show you one thing that's worth a shit ton of money. This brake caliper, one day, is going to be worth a small fortune. I don't know to who, but somebody's going to want this. I think when these bikes were new, they took these off and threw them in the lake because they never worked. Well, they worked all right, but they rattled.
They were noisy too.
Noisy as fuck.
Yeah.
So this is, I got to save it. I got to have that. It'll be good wall art, to say the least. What the devil? Ah, shit.
Joe said he's got to get the rest of these bikes done first.
We're still waiting for shit on the rest of those bikes.
Ah, Jesus.
All you need is background noise.
So the static was good.
My mind is in an area.
The swing out kickers there.
I'm just setting these back into right now because I'm in the reference points. I'd save those.
This rises jump. It's cracked though, you know.
What the fuck?
560s.
This goes down to
coming. Okay, that's not what we were going for, but that works. It'll work.
Is that the valuable pipe there?
This is a very, very sought after pipe. It was a stock Harley 2-into-1. I think I got enough money coming off of this bike that'll pay for the bike.
If you sell the parts.
If I sell the parts, but I won't. I might. I don't know. They got to get me on a good day. I don't fucking sell nothing. I sit there and I think it's all gold and I want to keep it because I'm going to need it someday. I sold a nice set of saddlebags that I had on my old bike because I never used them. And then turns out one day I wanted to use them, but they were gone. And I sold them like $500 or $600. Fucking chump change. It was cheaper to keep it.
From S&S or the 103 stock motor?
The 103 stock motor Harley, the 110 is just, there's 103s that'll walk at 110.
Yeah.
Get the crossover tube. I got the petcock shut off on this one, but there might be fuel left in. Oh, this is on here still. It's a little guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, did I cross over? Is there a hose there?
Yeah, I'm holding it.
Cut this off.
Absolutely. But that's okay.
No better place to be.
This year is going to be High Octane's breakout party.
I did an update on the expansion at the High Octane Saloon, so we'll keep track of that as the winter goes on. I also got some news on the side of the old Lobster Pound / Faro Grill. It's been closed for a couple of years. It's the property right across from the High Octane. I'm sorry, right across from the Weirs Beach side as you're going into the beach. And they have a huge parking lot that's filled with vendors normally, but it's under new ownership, and it's going to be like a high-end coffee shop and restaurant. So, and the same people that manage that space are going to be managing the boardwalk this year. And apparently it's going to have some highfalutin chef in the restaurant, but it's scheduled to open up in the next couple of weeks. So I'll keep you guys informed in terms of that location and how it's going to develop for Motorcycle Week. But it is under new management, and it looks like they're going to be opening up as like a high-end coffee cheese shop on one side and then a restaurant on the other. And then the same management group is going to be managing the Boardwalk Cafe on the other side of the street. So we'll keep you informed on that. The word on the street is, I haven't been able to confirm this officially, is that the Granite City Music Hall is not in good shape and may close down. So that'll, I'll keep you informed on that. I haven't been able to confirm it, but I figured I'm going to go back to doing little music segments, so I figured I'd show you guys a little segment with the Moonshine Bandits that I shot at the Granite City Music Hall.
She's crazy and I love her. She's crazy and I love her. Here we go, she's the kind of girl taking drinking on the weekend, singing Journey Dive Bar, don't stop, believe it. Bloody Marys in the morning, football Sunday. Both know we're hurting and we're working on a Monday. Love her family ties to her small town roots. She's got a lot of pride in her cowgirls too.
3, 2, 1. All right, that's this week's music segment. Again, the word on the street is that the Granite City Music Hall is having some trouble and may go out of business. So we'll have to, we'll stay tuned for that and see how that works out. I'll update you as I get some more confirmed information on that. And on this week's Laconia Rewind segment, we're going to kind of do a tribute to Jay Allen. Jay Allen's an old friend of mine. He's the founder of the Broken Spoke Saloons. He was a t-shirt vendor at one time, and he saved up his money and he bought a bar in Sturgis, and he eventually, grew that into the Broken Spoke motorcycle bar chain. There were, there's Broken Spokes in Sturgis and Daytona, and obviously there's one in Laconia. So John Turner and his family are now running the property as the High Octane Saloon. So I talked a little bit with John about the legacy of Jay Allen.
Been coming here for 20, 25 years when Jay Allen started the Broken Spoke Saloon. I always loved the Broken Spoke. It's a great bar. It is the greatest place on Bike Week. It's the only place on Bike Week as far as I'm concerned.
The best people in the world, the riders. And I'll tell you, you guys up in New Hampshire, we got beautiful weather, but if it's raining, I know you're still going to be out partying with us at the Broken Spoke.
Go, go! Come on, come I think you can do this.
Here we go. We're going to go down. Yeah, come on. Get it out, right? I mean, Broken Spoke, we got the hottest women in Laconia, the coldest beer.
I don't think Jay Allen knew what he started 20 to 25 years ago when he set a tent up the street there. Had no idea where it was going, but it was quite a deal. And it's something that's stuck in its history at this point in time. The things he did, the shows he put on, second to none. The Broken Spoke was always a place to go. It's a new chapter now. It's the High Octane Saloon, and we want to make sure that this is the place to go. I've always loved this bar, love the stuff that goes on here, love the people that show up at the gate. Nobody comes here for a bad time. It's always a great time here.
Now, a lot of people know Jay Allen as the founder of the Broken Spoke, but what you might not know is that he's probably one of the top land speed motorcycle racers in the world. I believe he's got just under 50 land speed records, and he is just an incredible motorcycle racer. He's actually got me involved in land speed racing at a much lower level than what he's doing it. But so that's another part. As spring comes, I'll show you guys as we build my antique Harley 175 and my salt racer, not the bobber, but as I get ready to try and set the 175 land speed record. And if you're interested in land speed record racing at the Bonneville Salt Flats, I have a whole YouTube channel that's devoted to it. It's called Fast Friends. So check that out on YouTube. It's called Fast Friends. It's got a bunch of little videos about land speed racing at the Bonneville Salt Flats. And again, I'm in the process of pre-production for a feature-length documentary that I'm going to be shooting at the 100th anniversary of Laconia Motorcycle Week this year. So as that develops, I'll be giving you more information on that as well. But that's it for this week. Duff out.